That's right, Lauren. Now, when most people try to avoid spoilers for their favorite shows, they simply stay off of social media for a week. But for 25-year-old John Brooke, some think he went just a little too far.
I'll take sips of wine out of the Stark glass because he's from House Stark. Him and I are both.
Today, it is nearly impossible to go anywhere or talk to anyone without Game of Thrones coming up. Now, in its final season, it has become the most widely discussed TV show of the year.
Here comes the giant. Here comes the giant.
John Brooke of Santa Barbara, California, is a longtime fan of the much-loved show. So much so that he locked himself in his mother's basement since 2011 to avoid any spoilers.
Well, I started watching Game of Thrones when I just heard people kind of talking about it at school, and I immediately fell in love with Daenerys Targaryen's big, beautiful eyes. Yeah, I would watch anything Game of Thrones. I wish it would come up more.
In the beginning, John watched the show just like everyone else, while going to school and hanging out with his friends.
He was smart, he was funny, he had a good head on his shoulders, and then something happened with that Ned and he just lost it.
But all of that changed one day during class, when John realized that the world was dark and full of spoilers.
These kids were talking about it. They said, Ned Stark dies. You know, watching it wasn't the worst thing. It was the fact that they spoiled it for me. So that's why I decided to keep myself locked up in here.
He became very reclusive. It was frightening.
I had a girlfriend, but she watches Game of Thrones too. Basically any means of anything possibly coming across and getting ruined or spoiled for me. I had to cut it out of my life.
However, for his mother, his experience watching the show has taken its toll.
You know, I think this show has really damaged him. His brother was getting married, and he just said, I hate weddings, and we didn't understand why. I mean, everybody loves a wedding.
His mother constantly reflects on how John's life might have turned out had he never been spoiled that tragic day.
I think that he would have just been a great kid. You know, he had a lot of promise. He would have gone to college, and he would have traveled, and he would have had friends, even gotten married, you know, like his brother Robbie. So I guess 1 out of 2 isn't bad, right?
To the King of the North! To the King of the North!
But now with the show coming to a conclusion, John's mother is hoping his watch has ended.
Thank God. I am so tired of this. He needs to get on with his life.
I've been down here long enough, so 2 weeks after I watch the last episode, get back out into the world and celebrate.
So are you looking forward to the 4 spin-offs that HBO announced? Now, that interview was just taken 2 weeks ago. We do have an update on the story. Mr. Brooke was taken into custody by authorities today after he, quote, went completely mad and burnt his house down. We caught up with his mother, who said this turn was completely out of character. John O'Connor, KRX Eyewitness 5 News at 6.